So this is why I stopped using drugs and drinking alcohol. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some really embarrassing stories about when I used to use drugs and alcohol. And I'm going to tell you why I stopped, how I stopped, and hopefully inspire you to stop if it's a problem for you. So before all these people come and they say, oh, weed's fine, this is fine, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever's fine for you is fine for you. You must do what you want with your life. But personally, when I smoked a lot of grass, I was lazy, I was undisciplined, I was depressed, I couldn't focus, and my life suffered as a result of that. I didn't have much money, I wasn't in as good a shape as I am in now, and I didn't look as healthy. So that's one of the reasons that I stopped doing that. The other reason that I stopped was because alcohol and grass brought me to harder substances, and that really destroyed my life. And I'll share an embarrassing story with you guys. So one time I was in the airport in Turkey, and I just come from Colombia, and I was on the way back to South Africa where I'm from, and I was walking around the airport drinking a lot of alcohol, and I picked up this girl, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna be with this girl and I'll get my flight. So then I was with the girl, I actually slept with her in the airport, and then after that I took sleeping pills, and it's important detail, I'll tell you why just now, but it's important detail that I told you I slept with her. So I took these sleeping pills because I was like just enjoying taking them because I was an addict, or I still am an addict, but I don't use now. But anyway, took the sleeping pills and I fell asleep and I missed my flight. And I woke up at like 3 in the morning, my flight was at like 10 or 11, and I missed the flight, and I hadn't been in South Africa for like 2 years, and I was going to surprise my mom. And I had to literally ask my mom to get me a ticket because I didn't have money, because my whole life was unmanageable when I was using. So then I was walking out of the airport, right, like with my tail between my legs, and then I saw that same girl sitting with a different guy, you know. So it just added insult to injury, and this whole lifestyle that goes with addiction, it's just horrible. And always bad things are going to happen because that is the universe's way, or God's way, of actually trying to teach us and saying, don't do this. So I'll tell you another embarrassing story. So I don't know why these stories are always with girls, but this one, I was in Vietnam, and I was with this girl from Ireland, and we were drinking and all that, and I said to her, oh, let's go buy some grass. And we went with these Vietnamese guys, and they were all like this big, and they like called me in like an alley with her, and she said, are you sure it's safe for us to go here? And I said, yeah, it's sure. You know, I was drunk, I thought I was a big man. And the next thing, we get to this alleyway, and another like 9 guys surround us. And I knew what was happening when they did that, because I'm from South Africa, I've been robbed before. And I just took out my money casually and I paid them, okay? I didn't pay them, I gave them my money, they robbed me. And then I still said to them, I want the grass. I'm just saying grass because of the algorithm, but you know what I'm talking about, that green stuff. And then I took that stuff, but then I was with the girl later, and we were doing our thing, right? And this stuff they gave us, it had something inside of it, because I was looking at her face, and it was turning into a skull while we were doing our deeds and all that, you know, and it was turning into a skull, and it was disgusting. And the third story that I can share with you, I have many stories. Follow this channel, and I'll post up more of these stories. If you want to see them, I can make a video just dedicated to the stories. But the other one is, I was in a club in South Africa with some friends, fair weather friends, people that I used with, and I was using coke with them. And I was in the club, I went to the bar, bought a beer, I walked back to it's weird saying the story, it brings me flashbacks. I walked back to the dance floor, and the next thing, I woke up, and I was like this. I woke up like that, on the floor, and I had blood in my mouth, and this guy was pouring water on my face, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I was looking, and there was bouncers trying to get to me, a huge crowd of people around me, and I was so confused. And what happened is I had a seizure, collapsed from it, because these dealers, they put other things in these substances, and even the substance itself can do that. And luckily there was a guy there that he knew first aid and he saw me drop. He was right there when I dropped, and he pulled my tongue out of my throat. So I could have suffocated on my tongue. That guy saved my life. That guy's name is Duran. I love you, bro. You saved my life. And that brings me to the next point. And then after this, when I had the seizure, I was sitting outside with my friends on a bench like this, and I was sitting like that, my head in my hands, and I couldn't think properly. My brain was starved of oxygen because you can't breathe. You have a seizure. I think, my brain was starved of oxygen. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to do this again. There's no way. How could I do this again if I just had a seizure and almost died? So I almost felt like closure. I was like, okay, at least I'm going to quit, because I always wanted to quit. And I didn't quit. And then I had another seizure a few weeks later. And that brings me to the next point, guys, is that these things are addictive, so addictive. And you can get addicted to them just like I did. Maybe you can't, maybe you can. I don't know. I don't know everything. But it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Just go and look on the streets. Homeless people, people in jail, people in institutions, people in the graveyard. Drugs have a huge part to play. I'm not saying all homeless people are on drugs, but a huge amount of them land in that position because of that. Huge amount of people's lives get destroyed because of alcohol. And this society just promotes it, and these celebrities promote it. They have these brands and they're destroying people's lives. I used to respect The Rock, but he sells alcohol. I don't respect him. Do you know how many car accidents there are? How many people get in fights? How many people get addicted? And then these people are selling that. This stuff's bad stuff. And that's my own personal opinion, and I'm entitled to that. And I know that many people come in the comments and defend it. But let me ask you a question. If you have children, or if you had children, would you want your child to be an alcoholic or an addict? You know, these people that defend smoking grass. Would you want your child to smoke grass? I wouldn't want mine to. I'd like my child to have healthy lungs and a healthy brain and be motivated by life. You see, when I used to use, I lacked motivation to train, to do business tasks, to wake up early, to do meditation, all these things. Because when you use these substances, it gives you dopamine, and dopamine regulates your motivation. So now you're getting this motivation, this dopamine, this pleasure from a substance instead of sweating for it, instead of doing work for your business and getting progress, and that gives you dopamine. Instead of going out and meeting your dream partner and approaching her, you'll sit there in your room and smoke weed. That's bullshit, in my opinion, for myself. And I know what it's like. I was an addict in active addiction for like a long time, more than 10 years. Started smoking weed when I was like 16. Because that's also why I'm making these videos, guys, because this society basically promotes this shit. So yeah, if you like recovery, if you're trying to take care of addictions, if you're trying to do self-development, please follow this channel. It's a new channel. I'm going to be uploading a video every day here, and I want to motivate people. I want to make a positive impact in the world, and I want to speak out against things I don't agree with, which is substance abuse and addiction and stuff, you know. And lastly, if you do struggle with addiction, I want to tell you something, that once you get off this shit, you will feel better than you've ever felt in your whole life. The way you'll feel sober at times will be better than any coke you've ever used. It'll be better than any feeling, granted you're moving forward and making progress. And you'll wake up every day and you'll have peace of mind that you've quit. And another tip to quit, if you're struggling and if you have already quit, is to stay quit. The most insane thing a sober person does is pick up the first drink or drug. So if you're struggling with that, feel free to add me on Instagram, Upward Spiral Motivation. That's my Instagram, Upward Spiral Motivation. And you can send me a message. If I have the time, I'll jump on a call with you. I'll try and help you. But I know a lot of people that are trying to help addicts. So we will help you if you need help. But we are a team, and I hope that you're well, and much love.